So I'm sure you've all heard the phrase, it's 90% mental and 10% physical. But I think that's especially true for track and field because it is a pretty simplistic sport. People tend to overcomplicate it. I've been involved with track for about 8 years, and I've also done an indoor track club in Wichita. I went to state last year in the 4x4, and then I also did cross country last year. So today we're just going to learn a little bit about the basic components of track and field, which is running form, hand and foot placement in the blocks, and then how to explode out of the blocks. Let's start with running form. The major thing with running form is your arms. Your arms kind of tell the rest of your body where they need to go. A lot of people kind of put their arms out here or be too intense, which is what I see a lot, but kind of what we're looking for is a relaxed 90-degree arm and then a relaxed fist in a motion kind of like this. And when you're coming back, you almost want your hand like going in your pocket, and I'm sure you've heard that if you've had PAB before or had any running form experience. The second component with running form is obviously your legs. You want to be on the ball of your foot, and that doesn't mean like up on your toes, it just kind of means your heels off the ground. You're in a forward position. And you also need to have good knee drive. Good knee drive is going to allow you to cover as much ground as fast as you can and put more power through the ground, which is ultimately going to make you faster. Now let's move on to hand and foot placement in the blocks. The number one thing you need to figure out first is which foot is my dominant foot. For me, that is my right leg, and it's just the hand that you write with. So we'll pretend this line right here is a start line, and we'll measure off 3 of my foot lengths. So this is where my right foot is going to go. Then we'll measure off 2 of my foot lengths for my left foot, and that's where my left foot is going to go. I usually do about 1.5 to 2.5 for my feet lengths, but it just kind of depends on your experience and how comfortable you are with it. And here, I'll tuck this in. Once you're in this position, you need to figure out your hands. Most athletes or beginner athletes will kind of put their hands out like this, but that's just not a good position because number one, my back is rounded and it's setting kind of your momentum backwards, which is not something that we want. So the major thing to think about is putting most of your weight on your forefinger and your thumbs. Just like this. So this kind of puts you in a forward motion, and that's the big thing about track. You want all your momentum going down the track. So this is the on your marks position, and then this is the set position. And then finally, we'll learn how to explode out of the blocks. There are 2 main phases to this, the drive phase and the sprint phase. The drive phase comes first, and it's characterized by your head tucked, really big arm action. You want your arms like coming up almost over above your head, honestly, or at your ear is a good mark. And then the drive phase, you also need to have super big knee drive, so you're powering through, and your shoulders are going to be over your feet most of the time. Then the sprint phase comes next, and this is characterized by your head's up, your eyes are focused ahead, and you still have good arm action, but maybe just not as intense as your drive phase. And then still using your running form and ball of foot striking and good knee drive. So I will demonstrate that. So this is the on your marks position. This is the set. And that's kind of what it should look like. It's a little slippery, but it's kind of what it needs to look like. And so I hope you learned a little bit more about track and how it can help your fitness and athletic goals. So yeah, thank you.